Tell us a little bit about your Jeopardy experience growing up. You would watch with your grandmother, is that correct?
I did. Jeopardy is obviously a family, pastime. Everyone knows that's why it's so popular. It's a piece of Americana for so many different reasons. But my grandmother would watch, and this is, she's a huge, huge sports fan. Another reason why I'm in sports right now. But she would watch and she'd yell and scream to Alex. She'd be like, "No, I know. Yes, I said go." And I'm like, why is she? I'm like, I could hear her yelling, and I just come and I'd sit with her, and we would just yell answers at the screen, and it was really, truly a fun way to bond. And I remember the theme music narrating a lot of my time with my grandmother. I would go to her house after school, I'd do my homework, and then right at a perfect time for us here on the West Coast, I knew what I had to do. I had to sit in the living room with her, and we'd talk to Alex, and we'd yell answers that were inevitably correct, because we were all so smart. And it was just a beautiful opportunity. And to be here for me, it's full circle. Like, it really is. You can see what you thought you couldn't do, and then I get to live this dream. For me, it's a dream, and it's just an honor to be here.
So wonderful to have you here. Let's go over to Brendan. Now, you have a really lovely Jeopardy memory. Tell us about your late uncle.
Yeah, so my dear Uncle Damien, he made it on to Jeopardy from Chicago, and we were a Jeopardy watching family, and so this was very, very thrilling. And he came back, and he wasn't allowed to tell us what happened, of course, but he was like, "I may have won. We'll see what happens." And we're like, "That means he won. That means he won. How much did he win?" He only won one day, and he came home with $300.
Woo!
Which is substantially less than the trip to Los Angeles would have cost him.
And you were a teenager at the time, correct?
Yeah, I was like 15 or so, and I was very cognizant of what was happening, very excited.
And he drove. I mean, that may have been his gas money, is that correct?
I mean, he lived in style at the time, but he probably thought better of it after that and should have driven in the future, yeah.
Well, I'm sure your family's very proud to have you here as well.
I'm here for my revenge.
All right, and BJ, there's a few things about you that that people may not know, but one is that you've been a clue on Jeopardy more than once.
Yeah.
But tell us about, I think, the first time that you found
Yeah,
that you were
well, it dampened a lot of the excitement to be a clue because everyone was utterly stumped. Nobody got it, and these were geniuses. I don't know if it was Tournament of Champions or what, but it was just, they knew everything. And
So
this was the
you were
question they were like, "I'm out. This is just too obscure, even for me, a Jeopardy champion." So it was hard to sort of brag about. They showed my picture. They said what my name rhymed with. They really tried to feed it. So that was sort of both an honor and a humbling experience at the same time. Much like today is going so far.
Correct.